So is Obamacare really to blame for this EpiPen sticker shock? To former Health and Human Services Deputy Secretary Tevi Torres. Tevi, here's the thing. I listened to the statement from Heather Bresch, the CEO, and she talked about this savings card and people not having to pay anything out of pocket. That still doesn't address the issue of price. Whether you pay it out of pocket or not, this enormous price hike that they've enjoyed as the only company with this product out there.
Yeah, I got to say, Charles, I just love this story with the Democrats criticizing the CEO and the Democratic senator being, the father of her. And then you've got Mylar actually gave money to the Clinton Foundation, but they didn't give it since 2009. So I guess they haven't given recently enough to get protection from criticism from Hillary Clinton. But in terms of the price versus the cost to individuals, this is the same argument that the Obama administration makes with respect to the ACA exchanges. The costs or the price in the ACA exchanges keeps going up, and the average price hike requested is about 20% in the year ahead, but they say, well, consumers don't feel it because we give a subsidy. That's the same as the so-called coupons that Mylar is doing.
So here we have a situation where a lot of people also want to say, hey, let's not just solely point the finger at Mylan, because there is the FDA, which has created this sort of environment where the Mylans of the world do enjoy a monopoly for a certain period of time. Now, granted, they put the money in to creating these products, but specifically with EpiPen, they bought this. They're not much different than Skrelly, buying some sort of dormant patent or product and then repackaging it and skyrocketing the price on people who have no other alternative.
Yeah, and let me just say, I'm a big fan of having EpiPen. I have a son who has severe peanut allergy, so I'm glad this life-saving product exists. I don't necessarily fault Mylan for purchasing the product. I mean, that's a business decision. And it is true that there are a lot of regulatory costs imposed by the FDA. Back when I was at HHS, it cost about $1 billion to bring a drug to market. Now it's about 2.5 times that, $2.6 billion to bring a drug to market. And this is actually a combination of a drug that's administered by a device. And something like 3/4 of the costs of a device in development are as a result of regulatory hurdles. So there is an important FDA angle here, as well as the price hikes that we're seeing in the ACA exchanges.
So Tevi, outside of a massive public outrage that we're witnessing right now, that we're in the midst of, what is the solution? How do we find that sort of happy place, if you will, where these large drug companies will go out on a limb to spend $1 to $3 billion to develop life-saving drugs, but also can enjoy enough of a profit margin? I'm not sure they're entitled to 45%, but certainly something that would give them incentive.
Yeah, sure. I think incentives for companies to develop life-saving products is important. I'm always wary when politicians rail against prices, because I think price hikes are disastrous for not only the consumer, but for America as a whole, as drug development is an important part of our economic powerhouse status. And so I'm worried about that. But look, I think you need to look to what's working in the healthcare system. I mean, on the employer side, for example, 169 million Americans get their healthcare through employers, and the cost hikes are expected to only be about 6% there compared to the 20% I was talking about with the ACA exchanges. So maybe look to what's working in the system and get the consumers involved so that individuals have a sense of what the real costs are and what the real prices are.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to broaden this out, because I think everyone at this point agrees that the ACA, also known as Obamacare, needs massive retweaking, if not ditching, and just overhaul complete. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.